My friends, let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever felt alone in your fight? Alone in your truth? Alone in your struggle? If yes, then listen carefully, because you share the same story as one of the greatest men who ever lived, Socrates. The beginning of a rebel thinker. More than 2,000 years ago, Athens was the shining jewel of Greece, full of wealth, politics, art, and philosophy. People admired themselves, thinking they knew everything. But one man walked the streets of Athens asking questions no one dared to ask. That man was Socrates. He wore no fine clothes. He had no gold, no titles, no army. All he carried was his mind, his voice, and the courage to speak the truth. He believed in one principle: the unexamined life is not worth living. While others lived blindly, Socrates wanted people to think, to question, to awaken. The man who questioned everything. Socrates did not lecture like other teachers. He asked. He challenged. He would stop a rich man in the market and ask, "If money makes you happy, why do you still desire more?" He would meet a politician and ask, "If you claim to lead, why do you not first learn to lead yourself?" He would question poets. "If your words inspire, do you even understand the truth within them?" And every time, the so-called wise men of Athens grew silent. He exposed their ignorance with nothing but questions. This is why they feared him. Because truth is dangerous to those who live in lies. The trial of Socrates. The powerful could not bear this any longer. So they put him on trial. His charges? Corrupting the youth and disrespecting the gods. But the reality? His only crime was teaching people to think. In the great court of Athens, hundreds of citizens gathered. His enemies waited to see him beg for his life. But Socrates did the opposite. He stood tall and said, "I will never stop questioning. I would rather die having spoken the truth than live as a coward in silence." Those words shook the court. But fear of truth was stronger than courage. He was sentenced to death. The final hours. Even then, Socrates could have escaped. His friends begged him, "Run away. Save your life." But he calmly refused. To fear death is to think you know what you do not know. Perhaps death is a blessing. And so, he drank the cup of poison with steady hands. No cries, no fear. Only peace. His body died that day, but his voice, his courage, his questions still live today. The lesson for us. Now, my friends, why am I telling you this story? Because this is not just history. This is your story. When you speak the truth, people may laugh at you. When you chase your dreams, society may doubt you. When you stand for justice, the world may call you foolish. But remember, so did they call Socrates. He was mocked. He was hated. He was condemned. Yet he stood firm. And that is your lesson. Never let the world's noise silence your truth. When life becomes a trial, you must become like Socrates. Strong, calm, unshaken. Because every time you stand for truth, every time you refuse to bow to fear, every time you fight your battle with courage, you are Socrates standing against the world. Final inspiration. My friends, history does not remember the comfortable. History remembers the courageous. So ask yourself, will you live in silence, or will you speak your truth? Will you bow to fear, or will you rise with courage? Will you be just another face in the crowd, or will you be the voice that challenges the world? Socrates was one man, yet his courage outlived an empire. And so can yours. Because remember this: one person, standing for truth, is more powerful than an entire society built on lies. So rise. Speak. Live with courage. Be the Socrates of your own life.